If you're a fan and you like us and you haven't yet, please subscribe. There are a couple of fight announcements that I'm sure we'll talk about in the future more. But man, you talk about some good ones. UFC 322, Islam Makhachev will go after the welterweight championship. Jack Della Maddalena will be defending that title. And I think Islam is opening up as a slight favorite already.
Really? I mean, he is a pound for pound great at this point. So he's very dominant. I understand. Plus, he is big for lightweight, so
yeah,
the move up to welterweight, we kind of already knew this was going to happen at some point. So very interesting matchup though, because JDM's boxing is maybe the best in the UFC. I mean, he's up there for sure. So we know he trains with Craig Jones a lot. Craig Jones, self-proclaimed Dagestani wrestling killer, I guess. So we'll see. Very exciting matchup. I think Islam will do very well at welterweight, but will he be as dominant as he was at lightweight? We'll see. Very tough test to start off.
Yeah. One thing I like about Jack Della Maddalena, I was looking at his record just out of curiosity. We were talking about this, and I always talk about guys who sometimes lose their first fight and then go like on a winning streak. He lost his first 2 fights and was finished, then went on a 16-fight winning streak. He hasn't lost since. Won on Dana White Contender Series and then basically undefeated in UFC and then, wins the championship. So, I mean, he's mentally tough. I guess my point is he's not going to be intimidated by Makachev. And I think the thing about Makachev at this weight class is, like you said, he's big for lightweight. I think he'll work out to his advantage. He'll be able to take punches even better, but it is an unknown. And so it will be very interesting. And JDM definitely has cardio for days as well. So,
and he has good anti-wrestling.
Yeah.
We've seen that these like Russian style wrestlers, that anti-wrestling doesn't matter. They're still going to land takedowns and stuff. But
I'd love to see it. I think it's a tough matchup for Makhachev, but it'd be interesting. I mean, hey, in a perfect world, I almost think it'd be Makhachev wins the welterweight title, has a few defenses. Ilya defends lightweight. Makhachev goes up to middleweight, wins the middleweight championship. Ilya wins the welterweight, and then they finally meet, almost like a super boxing fight years later at middleweight, where Makhachev is probably a little bigger, but Ilya is probably in a better fight. It's just it could be a great super fight.
Ilya is pretty short. I know, he's like pretty heavily muscled, but he's pretty short. I don't know if welterweight's really in his future. So
we'll see.
It would be a good story. For sure, you would hear a lot of Islam's running kind of talk.
Oh, for sure.
It goes up to middleweight, yeah.
And then co-main event for that card, too. I think a good fight we had talked about before on this podcast even that we'd love to see. It looks like it's happening. Weili Zhang vacating the strawweight championship. I believe that's already official, too. And she will go up and fight Valentina Shevchenko for the flyweight championship. It's an interesting matchup. I could see Valentina just wanting to try to take her down, wrestle her. I think Weili has the tools to stop that. But again, much like we talked about Islam going up, Weili is going up a weight class, so it'll be interesting. One thing I didn't know about looking at this too was Weili is 36, Valentina is 37. I didn't realize they were so close in age because Valentina, I feel like I've been watching fight forever, whereas
she
Weili
had a long MMA career before, a long Muay Thai career before.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, so
that'll be an interesting fight. Great Madison Square Garden card in terms of like hardcore fights being made. So I feel like in the pay-per-view era, why we still have it, this is about as enticing as we're going to get right now in terms of not having a super fight, but having two very big having some of the most skilled fighters fighting each other on the same card.
Yeah, women's MMA in general needs this fight also. Not the most exciting right now. They're just kind of in a lull. Also, with Zhang vacating the title, that means I believe Vanderoba and Mackenzie Dern are going to be fighting for the vacant belt. So
yes, that's true. I did hear that. I don't know if it's on the same card. I don't think so, but